Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo didn't just dominate an era, they got away with historical robbery. For years, narrative bias and marketing power shielded them from the truth found in the data. We are officially stripping away the Ballon d'Or titles they never earned to crown the true snubbed kings. To understand how we got here, we have to pull back the curtain on the multi-billion-dollar machinery that ran football for over a decade. The beautiful game transitioned from a sport judged on the pitch to an entertainment product driven by individual brands. We were told we were witnessing an organic, unprecedented rivalry. In reality, we were buckled into a carefully constructed financial ecosystem that needed a duopoly to maximize profit. Let's look at the raw statistical output versus the aggressive PR campaigns of the era. Yes, Messi and Ronaldo put up staggering numbers, but the marketing machine weaponized those numbers to create a reality where only goals and goal creations counted, completely flattening the tactical complexity of football. If a midfielder dictated the entire tempo of a Champions League final, or a defender put on a masterclass to shut down an entire front three, it didn't matter. The PR campaigns prioritized individual brand power over on-pitch reality. Why? Because a golden boot sells boots. A tactical interception does not. This is the exact era where the Ballon d'Or shifted from a performance-based meritocracy to a corporate popularity contest. Historically, the award honored the standout player of the most successful team, the individual who elevated their squad to ultimate glory. But as social media exploded, the voting pool shifted. It became an annual referendum on who was the bigger global icon. The ballot was handed to journalists, national team captains, and coaches who were deeply embedded in the marketing matrix. Voting for anyone other than Messi or Ronaldo felt like an existential threat to the narrative the world had agreed to buy into. The award was no longer about who had the best calendar year. It was an engine designed specifically to fuel the Messi-Ronaldo rivalry. This birthed the toxic concept of narrative bias. Narrative bias is the psychological phenomenon where voters retroactively use team trophy wins to justify an individual award for a superstar, completely regardless of that superstar's actual, isolated contribution during the tournament's most critical moments. If Barcelona or Real Madrid won a trophy, the credit was automatically funneled upward to the talisman. If they failed, the blame was distributed downward to the managers or teammates. The data was bent to fit the story, rather than the story being built from the data. But data doesn't have a marketing budget. Data doesn't sign apparel deals. And when you strip away the noise, the historical record demands an immediate correction. Our first stop takes us to 2010, a year that will forever live in infamy as the blueprint for the modern football heist. Let's analyze Wesley Sneijder's 2010 season. This wasn't just a great year. It was a historic, iron-willed campaign where one man spearheaded an unprecedented treble with Inter Milan under Jose Mourinho, before immediately packing his bags to lead a fundamentally flawed Netherlands side all the way to the World Cup final. He was the undisputed epicenter of world football for 12 straight months. At Inter, Sneijder was the tactical brain. In the Champions League knockout stages, when the pressure was a vice grip, Sneijder was flawless. He provided the crucial assist against Chelsea in the round of 16. He scored and assisted in the quarterfinals against CSKA Moscow. And then came the definitive litmus test, the semi-final against Pep Guardiola's legendary Barcelona. While Lionel Messi was stifled over 180 minutes, Sneijder ran the show. In the first leg at San Siro, Sneijder scored the equalizer and orchestrated a 3-1 demolition. He didn't just play. He dismantled the template of modern football's greatest club team. He followed that by assisting the opening goal in the Champions League final against Bayern Munich. Months later in South Africa, he carried the Dutch national team. 5 goals, including a heroic brace to knock out tournament favorites Brazil. He won 4 Man of the Match awards at the tournament. He was, by every metric of historical logic, the Player of the Year. Yet, let's deconstruct the voting shift that allowed Lionel Messi to walk away with the Golden Ball. In 2010, France football merged the traditional Ballon d'Or with the FIFA World Player of the Year award. This changed the voting demographic instantly, diluting the expert journalism pool with international captains and coaches who simply voted for the most recognizable face on television. Messi won the award despite a catastrophic tactical disappearance in the Champions League semi-finals against Sneijder's Inter, and a jarringly quiet, goalless World Cup campaign where Argentina was utterly humiliated 4-0 by Germany in the quarterfinals. Under the old, purely journalistic voting system, Sneijder won comfortably. Under the new corporate-friendly system, he didn't even make the top 3. It remains one of the most egregious errors in sports history. If we look at advanced playmaking metrics, we can prove scientifically that Sneijder provided far more high-leverage value during the year's most critical knockout moments. While Messi accumulated massive numbers in La Liga against mid-table sides when the floodlights were brightest and the tactical systems tightened to eliminate space, Sneijder was the one breaking defensive lines. The 2010 Ballon d'Or didn't reward the best player of the season. It rewarded the most comfortable brand. The title belongs to Wesley Sneijder. Wait! Before you continue watching this video, do y'all currently have plans to buy your favorite football jerseys? The FIFA World Cup is just around the corner. Real jerseys are costing more than $200 nowadays. That for just a shirt? What if I say you can now get it for just $15 with no compromise in quality? Go to coco101.com. They have the latest jerseys and the oldest ones too. Plus, it's just $15. Order your jerseys before the World Cup starts. If you think it's a scam or something, look at this Scam Advisor report. Check out the link in the description. Back to the video. 2010 was a subtle heist executed via a voting restructure. 2013 was an open-day bank robbery executed in broad daylight. This is the peak of the goal-scoring fallacy. In 2013, the football media elite completely rewrote the rules of individual evaluation to rescue Cristiano Ronaldo from a trophyless season. We must challenge the decision to grant Ronaldo the trophy based strictly on high-volume scoring while completely ignoring Franck Ribéry's superior tactical influence and historical team success. Franck Ribéry was the undisputed heart of Jupp Heynckes' legendary Bayern Munich side that achieved the continental treble. Ribéry wasn't just a winger. He was a defensive monster, a creative hub, and a transition engine. He led the Bundesliga in assists, created the most chances in Europe, and track-backed with an intensity that defined Bayern's high-pressing identity. He won the UEFA Best Player in Europe award easily because the people who actually watched the games saw that he was the most dominant engine on the most dominant team. On the flip side, Cristiano Ronaldo won exactly 0 major trophies with Real Madrid in 2013. He exited the Champions League in the semi-finals and finished second in La Liga, but he scored a lot of goals. He padded his stats in low-stakes league matches, and the media ran with it, convincing the public that individual volume outshone collective perfection. Then came the most controversial moment in the history of sports voting. The original voting deadline for the Ballon d'Or was set for November 15, 2013. Franck Ribéry was the overwhelming favorite, sitting comfortably in the lead. But then, FIFA and France Football did something unprecedented. They extended the voting deadline by 2 weeks, citing a lack of eligible voters. This extension happened only after Cristiano Ronaldo scored a highly publicized, spectacular hat trick against Sweden in a World Cup qualification playoff match. Voters were explicitly allowed to change their already submitted ballots. The media hysteria surrounding that single playoff game completely erased Ribéry's relentless, dominant 12-month season with Bayern Munich. It was a reactionary, narrative-driven adjustment designed to capitalize on real-time recency bias. This obsession with the Big Two forced a complete rewrite of what constitutes the world's best player. It began favoring vanity stats over team success. Ribéry didn't care about taking 15 shots a game to boost his personal brand. He played within a flawless system to ensure his team won everything. By rewarding Ronaldo for an empty, trophyless year of high-volume shooting, the Ballon d'Or told the world that context, silverware, and tactical selflessness no longer mattered. Franck Ribéry was systematically denied his place in immortality to keep the Ronaldo marketing machine alive. We are taking it back. As we move into the turn of the decade, the narrative machine didn't slow down. It grew more desperate. Welcome to 2021, where the ghost of a missed year met the power of an international fairy tale. We have to examine the 2021 ceremony where Lionel Messi's emotional Copa America narrative completely overshadowed Robert Lewandowski's historically devastating 41-goal Bundesliga campaign. To truly understand the injustice of 2021, we have to look at the psychological impact of the 2020 cancellation. In 2020, Lewandowski was the undisputed king of the world, winning the treble with Bayern and scoring 55 goals. France Football arbitrarily canceled the award due to the pandemic, despite every major league finishing their season. When 2021 arrived, the football world owed Lewandowski an apology. Instead, they gave him a secondary, newly invented Striker of the Year consolation prize, because the voters used the primary 2021 ballot as a lifetime achievement award for Lionel Messi, rather than a strict calendar year assessment. Messi's entire case rested on winning the Copa America with Argentina. It was a beautiful narrative milestone for his career, but let's look at the actual reality of that club season. Messi's Barcelona finished a distant third in La Liga, and were comprehensively dumped out of the Champions League in the round of 16 by PSG, losing 5-2 on aggregate, scoring just one league goal in the autumn, tracking up to the Ballon d'Or ceremony. Meanwhile, Lewandowski was operating at a tier of mechanical efficiency that Messi simply could no longer match. Let's look at the advanced underlying data for the calendar year of 2021. Lewandowski secured 69 goals across club and country with an XG conversion rate sitting over 11% above expected, averaging a goal every 71 minutes. Messi tracked at 43 goals with an XG conversion just over 2% above expected, averaging 108 minutes per goal. Lewandowski didn't just score more because he took more shots. His positioning, movement off the ball, and elite expected goals conversion meant he was maximizing every micro-opportunity with historic lethality. He broke Gerd Müller's 49-year-old single-season Bundesliga record by scoring 41 goals in just 29 games. Voters fell victim to sentimentality. They rewarded Messi for finally checking a box with his country, while completely ignoring that across the entire year, domestic and European football saw a shifting of the guard. Lewandowski was the most feared, efficient, and lethal footballer on the planet. The 2021 trophy was handed out based on a script written by romanticists, not by analysts who looked at the pitch. The ghost of 2020 and the reality of 2021 belong to one man, Robert Lewandowski. The era of the marketing duopoly is officially closed. Now we restore football immortality. We do this by applying a strict, unyielding evaluation framework. The performance floor combined with the clutch ceiling. An individual award cannot merely be a tally of easy goals against bottom-tier league opposition. It must look at how a player performed when their team was on the ropes in a European knockout match or a major international semifinal. When you apply this strict framework to the history books, the balance of power shifts completely. Let's look at how the historical record looks today in 2026. Now that the duopoly has finally ended, their careers have wound down in alternative leagues, and objective data has become the new global standard for fans and analysts alike. In 2010, the data validates Wesley Sneijder over Lionel Messi as the true treble architect and World Cup finalist who completely outplayed Messi head-to-head. In 2013, the title returns to Franck Ribéry, the tactical engine of Bayern's historic treble, who was robbed by an unprecedented voting deadline extension. And in 2021, the award rightfully moves to Robert Lewandowski for a historic 69-goal calendar year built on elite mechanical efficiency. Stripping these titles is about diminishing the undeniable greatness of Messi and Ronaldo. They are penalty and PR merchants who define this era. When the marketing campaigns fell silent and the smoke cleared, Sneijder, Ribéry, and Lewandowski didn't just have great seasons. They achieved tactical and statistical perfection that deserved the sport's highest honor. Stripping these titles is a necessary act of historical preservation. It protects the integrity of the sport's most prestigious individual award, proving that football will always belong to what happens on the green grass, not what happens inside a marketing boardroom. The record is corrected. The true kings have been crowned. Do comment down if you disagree, or if you think there are more Ballon that should be stripped. I will consider making a part 2, but you must comment. Please do subscribe to support my channel.